Hey everybody, this is Andy from Beyond Guitar, and I got a request for a certain video, and so here we go. This is a live video where we present the top 10 things that, unfortunately, make you sound like an amateur. So I had a student that said, Andy, I'm going to go to open mic night, and I'm going to go to a blues jam, and I don't want to embarrass myself. I want to get up there and play, and I have a deep desire to get up there and play in front of some people. But I just don't want people to go, man, he sounds, like a beginner. And so do you have any tips? And so I sat down and I wrote down the top 10 tips for you to avoid to help you sound more professional, to make it sound like you're really experienced, to make it sound like you really know what you're doing, okay? So let's go through them all together. All right, number one. The number one thing that makes you look and sound like a total beginner on guitar is you only pick down and you never pick up and you never go down and up. Okay? So experienced guitar players, with their pick, they go down, up, down, up, down, up. All right? Watch any professional player play a blues solo. Okay? They're going to pick down and up. Down, up, 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 down. It's not just down, 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 down all the time. Okay, there are exceptions. Like, okay, you're playing a Metallica song. All right, James Hetfield says pick down when you play his metal riffs. It sounds better. All right, fair enough. If you're chugging away on the low E string, all right, you're going to play down, 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 down. Okay, but if you're playing a blues solo, or you're playing a jazz song, or you're doing some picking, okay, so it's all played with downs and up. If you only know how to go down, 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 kind of look like you're just learning how to play the guitar for the first time. So my first bit of advice for you, number one, is practice your downs and ups. Okay, that's a lot, right? How do you learn that? It's hard to just say, all right, I'll play down and up from now on, Andy. It's harder than it seems. Okay, if you're struggling with that and you want something to practice, pick any scale, pick any song. What if we just do something simple like blues scale number 1? Right? Something easy. Okay, play every note twice and go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Play every note twice. It gives you the chance to get your down ups going. You got 2 chances to hit every note. Work on your down up. Mostly guitar players start with down at the beginning of the song or at the beginning of the measure. At the down beat of the measure, it's usually down. Doesn't have to be, but most guitar players start with a down at the beginning. You start with the down at the beginning, and then you continue on with down, up, picking. Okay, if that's too easy, and you want more of a challenge, hit every note 3 times. Okay, because then on the first note, you're going down, up, down. But on the next note, you're going up, down, up. And then the next note is down, up, down. Then the next note is up, down, up. Down, up, 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 down, up. So if you're doing 3 strokes per note, then you can get more of the feel of sometimes it's a down, sometimes it's an up. Okay, so work on your alternate picking. Alternate picking is not an easy thing if you're at the very beginning of guitar. That's why the first time you play guitar, you probably just do downs. But the sooner you can learn alternate picking and get your down ups going, the sooner you look, like a pro. All right, so number 1 was alternate picking, down, up, down. Use your downs and ups when you play your blues solo. All right, number 2, The number two thing that kind of shows everybody you just learned guitar yesterday is you never use the pinky. Experienced players use their pinky sometimes. Okay, and so if you never use the pinky, that means you're avoiding it, right? So try to get that pinky finger in there sometimes. And then another part of that is your ring finger will be pretty busy if you don't use the pinky, right? That means your ring finger has to take on all the responsibility of all the notes up here since your fourth finger is not being used. Okay, and so what shows me that someone has a lot of experience playing is that their fingers always have a bear claw. Their fingers are always curved. Every time they play every note on the guitar, every finger's curved. And you know, that seems pretty easy on finger one, your pointer finger. Okay, it's curved. My finger's curved. Finger two, yeah, I can curve it. That's not so tough. Okay, but sometimes you see someone put their third finger on, and then their finger goes, and their finger's bending backwards. Okay, my finger collapsed. Let's see if you can see that. Trying to hold it closer to the camera. This is the correct way. This is the amateur way. That shows that your finger is collapsed and you're not pushing it down with strength, but your finger gave way. And you're not squeezing it with the fingertip anymore. Okay, so fingertip, finger curved. That's the way you want to do it. If your finger looks like this, it means you're at the beginning of your guitar career. Okay, so you haven't yet learned to strengthen the finger and use the tip of the finger. So if your finger is collapsing and bending backwards, that's not a thing. Okay. You might say, but wait, Andy, what about bar chords and stuff? Okay, my finger's not bending backwards. It's just straight. This is bending backwards. I never do it that way. What if I want to play two notes at the same time with one finger? It's flat. It's straight. It's not bending backwards. Okay, so anyways, so the finger positions of especially your third finger and your pinky, the weakest fingers, it kind of shows how much experience you have in the world of guitar. So if you can use your third finger and your pinky and keep them standing up all the time, you don't want to bend your fingers backwards, all right? Keep going. Let's move on to the next one. So number 3. The one thing that you can do on stage, and this isn't even about playing the guitar, okay? So the one thing that you can do on stage that pegs you as an amateur player is you never touch your volume control to turn it down in between the songs. As soon as you play the last note of a song, song's over, volume knob 0. Next song begins, turn your volume knob up, play. That song's over, you hit the last note, volume knob 0. Hey everybody, how you doing tonight? Make sure you tip your waitress. Everybody having a good time? Let's have another drink. And next song begins, turn your volume knob up, play the song. That song's over, good night. Turn your volume knob down. Okay, if you're not turning your volume knob down when there's no music, that means your amp is going, and everyone's listening to that going, what is that sound? And you might be up there going, how does everybody think I sound? They're listening to you when the song isn't playing, okay? In between the songs, you're performing. All right, so perform in absolute silence on your guitar in between the songs. And you know, side note, don't let the audience hear you tune. I'm sure that your tuner pedal has a button where you tune in silence. So when you play, and you tune, the audience can't hear you. Then when it's time to play the song, then you turn up again, right? So if you're blasting full volume, I'm tuning, everybody, you might as well shout into the mic, hey everybody, I'm tuning. The audience doesn't want to listen to you tune, okay? Don't let the audience hear you tune. You might have heard that saying, don't let them see you sweat. Don't let them hear you tune. Tune by yourself in silence without the crowd listening, okay? If I have to tune and I'm on stage, I usually step up to the mic and talk over it. And I'm tuning and I'm looking at my tuner and I'm going, hey, everybody having a good time tonight? All right, the next song I'm going to play for you is one of my favorites. I hope that you really enjoy it, and here we go. And so they're not paying any attention to me tuning, all right? That was number 3. So let's keep going. We are on number 4 of how to peg yourself as an amateur player, whether it's open mic night, blues jam, your first performance, farmer's market, whatever it is. If you're there and you're playing and there's other people up there, the number 4 thing is you don't know any letters. Like if someone says, all right, here we go, blues in A, 1, 2, 3, 4. If you're going, what fret are you on? Then they know that you haven't done your homework. Okay, you gotta at least know this is an E. This is a G. This is an A. This is a B. You should at least learn A, B, C, D, E, F, G on the low string. Okay, just learn that string. You don't have to learn any of the other strings, at least not right now. All you have to know is E, F, G, A, B, C, D, E. Okay, if you know that, you can survive open mic night. You can survive blues jam. If someone says, blues jam, key of G, go! You gotta know that this is G. Blues jam and G, go. Start on G, start playing, the end. It's not that hard, you can do it. All right, so, but if you're going, what fret do I start on, guys? Then everyone will kind of roll their eyes. So you gotta memorize your letters on the fretboard. Let's keep going. To go along with that one, number 5, the things that peg you as an amateur. Number 5, you don't know the 12-bar blues form, which are the 12 chords that you play in the 12-bar blues, or you have to stare at your iPad the whole time because you don't know the song, or you never look at the other players in the band because you're staring at your iPad or you're staring at a book. That just means you weren't ready to be up there, okay? So don't bring a book, don't bring your iPad, learn the song. If you could play the song by memory, get up there and play it. If you have to play it off the pad of the iScreen, or the screen of the iPad, maybe practice more first until you memorize it, then go back and play it, okay? So what I mean by the 12-bar blues form is you go to open mic night and they're like, all right, here's 12-bar blues in A. You gotta know that it's A. And then play A again. Then play A again. Then play A again. Now play D. Play D again. Now play A. Now play A again. Now play E. Now play D. Now play A. And the 12th measure's E, and we pound on that E because it's the last one. And then, is the song over? Yeah, kind of, but don't stop there. Return to A. Good night. Play the last note like a real pro. Let it ring out. Okay, you got to memorize that 12-bar blues form. There's just hundreds of songs that follow that chord progression. So memorize it. All right, keep going. The top 10 things that make you sound like an amateur. Number 6, you've never tried drop D tuning. All right, a lot of songs are in drop D. And so you got to know how to tune to drop D. Okay, you don't even need a tuner. All you have to do is hit your 4th string, the D string, and then do this. Match it. Okay, so tune your low string down until they sound the same. Your 4th string is D and your 6th string is D. You're in drop D. Okay, so you got to know that because there's going to be songs in drop D tuning. Guarantee it. Okay, so learning that is important. And then tuning back to standard is easy. Strike your high E and then do this. Low E and high E match. What I like to do is I'll hit the high E, then I'll hit a harmonic on 12, and that helps. Okay, so along with that, speaking of that low E string, one of the things that kind of experienced players cringe at when they hear beginner guitar players is a song will be in the key of C, and the guitar player will get up there and play a C chord, and it's supposed to sound like this. That's the sound of a C chord. Okay, now if your C chord sounds like this, everyone's gonna roll their eyes. Okay, what did I do wrong? The thing I did wrong is I played that low E and I blasted it at the crowd. Bong! And that sounds terrible and doesn't match the chord. You don't want that note. Don't play this string or mute it out with your thumb. Okay, so a pure C chord doesn't have that low note hanging on over the chord. It's muted, okay? See, listen. This is what the low string sounds like when you play a C chord, okay? Low string isn't part of a C chord. It's not there. That's why John Denver played the 3rd fret on the low string with his C chord so that he would have a legitimate note that sounds good on that chord, okay? Then he wouldn't have to mute strings or miss the string with his pick. That chord is called C/G. And I call it the John Denver C because he used it constantly. That way you don't have that low E going while you're trying to play your C chord, okay? So anyway, there's a tip number 6. Let's keep going. Number 7 of the things that make you sound less than pro. The answer is your amp setup or your tone coming out your speaker doesn't sound good. All right, so get yourself a proper amp. Doesn't have to be a huge amp. It doesn't have to be 100 watts. It doesn't have to be stereo. But if you get yourself a nice little Fender Blues Deluxe or, Fender Jazzman or just a 12-inch speaker and 1 or 2 channels with a little foot switch, it'll sound fine. Okay, but if you're playing through like one of those Line 6 amps or like a Spider or like a modeling amp or something with the digital effects, sometimes those can sound pretty brittle and they often have too many effects. So if you're playing at a blues jam and you're trying to do something bluesy, all you need is a mild dose of distortion and maybe a tiny bit of reverb, and that's it. all right? If you're at the blues jam and you got phaser and echo and flanger, it's not the right sound for the blues, okay? So maybe check your tone first before you show up and just wing it, right? Some guitar players, if they show up at the open mic and they don't have an amp, they just plug directly into the board. Okay, that can sound pretty brittle also, because just plugging straight in might not be the best tone. And so if I'm doing some serious recordings, I'm plugging into my Fractal Axe Effects. And if I really want like a monster rock song, I've got my Mesa Boogie and my 412 cabinet going. You know, and I've also got an orange amp because I like the distortion in the orange amps. And I have a gig next weekend where I'm playing country and blues. You know, I'm just using the Fender Hot Rod Deluxe. It sounds great. You just plug in, you start playing. It has reverb. That's it. There's no chorus. There's no flange. There's no phaser. It doesn't have echo. You don't need any of that. All right? A slight dose of reverb and a little distortion is all you need. Not too much distortion, but just enough. Okay, anyway, so check your sound before you show up at the gig. All right, keep going. Number 8. We're on number 8 already. The number 8 thing that makes you sound a little bit amateur. Number 8 is your guitar's out of tune. All right, so get yourself a tuner. And if you don't like those clip-on ones, just buy a tuner pedal because they're cheap. You can get them for 39 bucks. Maybe I'll just put a link below where you can get one. So you press the pedal and it mutes your signal coming through the amp, and then you can tune in silence. And then, you know, I had a student ask me, like, when should I tune? When should I check my tuning? At the beginning of the show or at halftime, like when we take a break or what? And I was like, why not before every song if you can? So especially if the song has a lot of bends. Okay, so check your tuning often and touch up your tuning. Even if it's a tiny bit off, touch it up. And if your guitar doesn't stay in tune, get a different one. All right, number 9. Things that you should avoid to make you sound more pro. Stopping in the middle of a song or starting over when you play a song or having a false start. Okay, so there's nothing worse than going to a concert and basically the guy's up there on stage and he's like, all right, this next song we're going to play for you, and here it goes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, hang on, wait, stop. Sorry, everybody. Let me do that one again. Ready? Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, don't do that. Once you start the song, play the song all the way through until the end. Don't stop the song or start over. All right? And sometimes there are nightmare scenarios where you start the song and oops, you forgot to use your capo, and so you have to put the capo on. All right, we've all been there, but you want to try to practice that and maybe even make some notes. Like if you have a set list, you might write on your set list the next song, you know, capo 3, next song capo 2, next song no capo. So be ready. Maybe practice in front of a mirror, or maybe make a video of yourself before you show up at the gig and go through the whole set and play it top to bottom like a real concert. And then you can work out when the capo goes on or how to start the songs. Here's another great suggestion. If you're in a band or you're a performer and you're going to go play 12 songs and play for an hour and open for someone else, play the beginning of all 12 songs right now. Okay, the first song goes like this. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, the second song starts like this. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and... Okay, the third song goes 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, now the fourth song starts with 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. You know, work on the beginning of your song. Practice starting your songs. Get good at the beginning of the song and starting it strong. You don't always just have to practice playing the whole song all the way through. Practice getting a good start to every song, and don't start over, and don't stop in the middle of the song. Okay, so that one is just being prepared and feeling confident. Okay, so here we are at the very last one. We're on number 10. The final thing that makes you look less like a pro. And this one, again, doesn't have that much to do with playing the guitar. And that is huge ego. Okay, if you show up at the open mic night and you have to tell people about how you're the best, that's a kind of a sign among more experienced players, because the best players in the whole world are super, super humble. Okay, you can almost kind of tell if someone is super, super humble, they're probably really good. And if someone tells you about how great they are, they're probably not that great. Okay, so show up with some humbleness, and people might actually respect you more than if you name drop or talk about yourself a lot. So the best thing to do is to not have a super big ego. And hey, if you're getting up there and you're at open mic night and you're at Blues Jam and you step to the edge of the stage to rock your solo, and someone steps right in front of you and starts to play a solo louder than you, smile and nod and go, all right, nail it, and let them play their solo. Don't have hurt feelings. And then as soon as they step out of the way, you know what? You play your solo, and we'll see which solo people liked, or maybe they liked both of them. Maybe you could be guitar partners. I mean, why has it got to be one person better than the other, or I'm better than you? Or maybe the audience will notice, hey, that other guy was a bit of a jerk. So, you know, be that person that's the humble player, and you'll probably be asked back for more opportunities to play with other musicians, because no one wants to play with the arrogant person. Okay. All right, well, I guess that concludes our top 10 tips on how to sound better and more professional. And so if you thought that there was value in this video, drop a like, drop a subscribe, and I'll go ahead and put some more links in the description when I get around to it. And until then, see you next Saturday for more live videos, everybody. Bye-bye.